Good evening, gamers, and welcome to KritzKast. Tonight we are thrashing through the ozfortress Highlander Season 1 Premier Grand Final. It really doesn't get any better than this. To guide you through it all tonight, my name is the Lampshade22, and I'm joined by the lovely CeeJaey.
Hey guys, I am usually just turning up at the end of the season to cast these games, because no one else is available, but I'm looking forward to watching some Australian Highlander.
And Dave.
I had the privilege of casting the last couple of grand finals, but I've been mostly on the analyst desk tonight, but looking forward to some great Highlander actions with some great TF2.
Are you a gimmick man, Snazzy? Not yourself. I'm not saying are you a gimmick, but are you a fan of the old gimmick plays, the gimmick weapons?
The answer to both is yes.
Well, if you're just joining us, we are live now with the first map of the Grand Final. This is ozfortress Season 1 Premier Division, and it's going to be Shrug in the blue against rasgals in the red on Proside. A little bit of a delay there coming out of Shrug there. Just kind of playing a little bit safe as they take down a sentry. No casualties, but it's going to be that man Flo we were talking about in the pregame to get the first kill of the final on Sexy Turtle, and it's starting to look pretty good for rasgals right now.
Yeah, they're really making it work for themselves here, but they are in a little bit of a poor spot where they're still on that low ground. They don't have a lot of health between them. The frags have sort of equalized here, and they're still fighting off on that point, but it does look like Shrug are taking the upper hand here. And as I say that, rasgals are rallied. They come in, they kill the med with a butter knife. Centaur coming through, managing to collect that one. That is absolutely fantastic for them. They just have to keep Tokos alive here.
Yeah, if they keep Chokos alive, it's absolutely huge. You see Zach actually lurking around in the area, trying to go for that hero play, maybe get the drop, but technically this is still a mid-fight as the cap hasn't even been touched. It's degraded all the way back down to 0. Neither team really wanting to commit. I guess rasgals, they have their medic alive, they have that uber advantage, don't really want to commit players and risk losing the fight, but Flo is going to get headshot there by Ohai. That sniper v sniper not working out for him this time. Uber's going to be coming in from rasgals onto turret, big jump in. Almost looks like an air shot there, I'm not sure. Some big damage going down onto Dumpsters now. And he's going to go down. A couple of backstabs coming in from Centaur, who's going to take down Cows again. And that is medic down for Shrug 2 times in quick succession.
Yeah, Centaur's really showing up for this game, man. There we go. First cap of the game going the way of Rascal. Giving themselves slightly worse spawns. So, we all know how King of the Hill works, where you get slightly worse spawns when you're actually in control of the point. But we'll just have to see if Shrug can sort of turn this one back around, because they're going to keep getting leapfrogged with advantage at the moment.
Absolutely, like it comes down to the name of the game. You want to keep your medic alive while also making sure the other medic uses their Uber. And, a couple of times now, Cal's going down. Hasn't actually had to use a turret, just running forward there. Balls deep into the enemy team, not managing to get much value out of it, but just causing havoc in Shrug. And they're wanting to press forward, they're getting this cap time, but they're not getting it for free, and that's the big thing. Ohai going down to Centaur again, and this pressure on the sniper has been huge. There is going to be a force onto Tokos. Rascal's losing 4 players in the process. Centaur coming in for the backstab is not going to get it. Naus is safe and sound this time and has 100% Uber for the first time in this game.
Yeah, we see the ads bounce back around with a nice big bomb out of ink to land on the med, remove Tokos from that game. It's a lot of scrappy fight. The Uber does get used by Shrug, but they've secured the point. And I mean, they've had massive control of that pool room pretty much the entire way through the game as well, so I can imagine that's probably part of the reason that they're just able to grind the rascals down.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a war of attrition, right? And if you control more territory, it's easier for you to get those vantage points. But really, really big there. It was, you know what? Impressed with that Uber, considering Sheep got a headshot just beforehand. Gets taken down again there, actually. Centaur comes in, is going to get the demo down. Cows running for their life, trying to get over to the other side of the map. Couple of kills here. Ohai with the quick 3k though is going to take down a third of Rascal's team, and just as about as they were getting that pressure onto the point, pressure onto the medic, and getting some cap time, just shows how quickly a good sniper can just demolish your team. And Rascal's backing up to their bridge now, and now regrouping, ready to fight for another bit of position.
Yeah, I mean, Shrug are playing this exactly like I was told to play this when I played with someone who actually, really cared about Highlander games. He told me, you play in that pool room, you control that pool room, you control the map. And so far, they've managed to do just that. As I say this, though, rasgals coming forward with their Uber, taking control of that pool room as well on the side there. They pick up a couple of players, but nothing really worth writing home about. They are looking like they're going to be able to cap the point, though. But they're staring down the barrel of full advantage on the side of Shrug, who used back in. They've collected Bird, but they haven't really achieved very much else, other than holding on to the point, really.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's I don't want to say it's questionable, but it's very, very close. They took a bit of a gamble there. If they let that cap go down now, it's going to be huge for rasgals. And it does look like Taurus is going to get onto the point, pressuring away and gets the cap. So that kind of leapfrog of the Uber there happened, and Shrug really wanted to get some more value out of that. And as it is, they're trying to recontest the point dry now. They're going to lose a couple of players. Ojai and Liquid going down, and rasgals are not letting this go for free. Flo picking up a kill as well, and it's just kind of chipping away there. They got people in the pool room, like you said. Flo 2, 3 kills. Ink and Zach, sorry, both are going down. And oh my gosh, he takes Sheep too. You were pointing out Flo as maybe the guy to watch in this game, and definitely both snipers are turning up so far in this first round.
I mean, Ojai being down there just let Flo peek and peek and peek, and every time he peeks, he gets a frag, man. He is absolutely unreal. But we do see Centaur pick up Ojai yet again, so Flo shortly able to pop off. We'll have to see how the fight comes through. We do see Raylan picking up Ink on the flank there, which is pretty big, actually. It's giving them more control of that pool room.
Yeah, the Uber really, really aggressive here from Shrug. You see how far forward they are on their opponent's side. The counter Uber coming in from rasgals, not really getting much out of it. Actually, they've lost a couple of players. It's just going to be Sexy Turtle going down, but now here comes the collapse. We're seeing kills left, right, and center, and rasgals are the recipient of a lot of death. They only have 4 players alive. All of them are playing around Tokos right now, just trying to keep the pressure away from them. Eric Torres actually wants to contest this point, take a little cheeky 1v1 with Sheep on the flank, but no, the pressure comes in. Zach is going to go down. Ink is also going to go down, and they're just kind of trading the point there. Rasgals, though, with about a 40-second lead and with equal Ubers, it seems that these teams aren't afraid to just go head-to-head when the Ubers are up. Oh no! Cows! Flo picks up the snipe, the body shot onto Cows, and that is a huge advantage for Tokos now.
And they managed to pick up Ojai with the spy there. The demo man jumps in, trying to collect tokens. Quite a lot of damage. The scout's in deep as well. Sheep managing to kill the medic on the side of the rascals there, but it is looking a bit better for them. They've got more players alive. It's only Cows and Zach here. I'm not sure quite where Zach is. I appear to have lost him in my third person view.
he's behind enemy lines.
I know he's behind. But, yeah, they've managed to recap the point, and it's looking fairly even.
It's like, where's Wally? But it's like, where's Zach? Where is he on the map? Can you find him? He's lurking behind, and you know what? Despite the fact that Shrug goes in there and they get like a bunch of damage and they kill Tokos, they don't actually get an advantage because Cows respawns and Zach's on the other side of the map. He's not building with anyone, so it's equal Ubers right here. 3 seconds left on the clock. Rascals just need to defend this right now. They're trading frags. And it's going the way of rasgals. Liquid on the point, trying to get cap time, trying to push the enemy away. It's all going to come down to these DM fights on top of the point. Tal is on the point, just degrading that cap time away. If Shrug don't get onto it, that is it. It's going to be the first round going to rasgals. And well, I mean, pre-game, you were confidently picking rasgals for this map, right?
Who's got 2 brain cells now, Dave? I really do think these guys are in with a chance of winning this. I think they're more confident coming into the final than they've been in the semi-finals here.
We'll have to see whether they can continue this trend. Some of these players popping off here. Centaur, definitely, I have to give a shout out to getting pressure onto Ojai over and over this time. It's going to be the SMG onto him and taking him down, so he is staying alive, and no picks for rasgals. Now 3 down for them and a full complement of players for Shrug to walk across the point, get Tal as well, 4 down now, and that is a pretty comprehensive mid-fight for Shrug. Confident, not losing any players, but they don't get any medics, no medic deaths, so it's going to be equal Ubers, and again, like you said there, Snazzy's just holding on to that pool room and keeping that really, really important anchor point on top of the point.
I mean, it just gives you so much height, so much control. You can hide a little bit from spam, and really all they can do is Uber into you. We do see the Ubers get traded on the point. Shrug actually using theirs quite aggressively. Centaur does pick up Ojai on the back end of that one, and Flo now able to peek out, picks up Ink. There's a few frags going down, but it's really not a heck of a lot to write home about yet again. We do see rasgals able to sort of edge that point a little bit. And we'll just see. I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to come out on the top end of this fight. They've got that control of the pool room again.
Yeah, it cannot be understated how important Centaur is right now, because top scoring on the team, just behind the medic, of the fragging class is the most points for rasgals right now, and the vast majority of those kills are coming onto Ojai. Constantly going behind enemy lines, going for the sniper, taking him down, and that gives Flo so much room to just snipe whoever he wants without worrying about getting shot back. Saying that does go down to Ink there, getting a bit aggressive. He picks up some pressure, gets down the opposition soldier as well, winning that MGE battle, and rasgals kind of, you know, losing a couple of players on the flank and losing a little bit of ground too.
I mean, they've lost a bit of ground, but they have managed to hang on to the point so far. It is looking like it's probably going to go the way of Shrug shortly. They do use onto the point in an attempt to block it. They give Bird a lot of that Uber in an attempt to sort of just air blast them straight off. And now they're having to back out as the counter Uber comes through. It's much better for Shrug. They picked up so many players, including the Med. Zach coming in the chaos at the tail end there and just deleting Tokwaz from the game. And I believe probably picking up Flo as well with a bit of assistance from Sheep.
Yeah, really well played there. You know, when that Uber came in from rasgals, it was 90% in the hands of Cows. Didn't have the Uber yet. Had to be very careful about staying alive, keeping players alive. And, you know, have to shout out Sexy Turtle there and Ojai. They've been pressured by a Pyro, and by their powers combined, kept alive, and they were able to push the flank. And yeah, big plays here coming in from Shrug after losing that first round. But again, this is the weakness of the pool hold. This is something I always said as a player. When you hold pool, it allows the enemy team to go on that far side and just cap the point for free. No contesting, even though Shrug has an Uber right now. They have to let go of the point. Tokwaz is going to get caught out shortly. Big bombing from the demo, not able to get the final pipes on though. Lots of pressure onto Tokwaz, but he's at 92%, maybe able to survive long enough to get this Uber.
Oh my god, I cannot believe he survived that long. They're able to hold that Uber, come through onto the point, giving Bird quite a lot of the Uber yet again, just getting as much ground as they possibly can. They're going to have to hang on to this point a little bit longer though as the times equalise. It is looking a bit better for Shrug here as they recap it though. They've picked up Flo and Tal, they've picked up Turris and Centaur as well, all for the easy trade of one demo man.
Yeah, Shrug kind of looking the more controlling, the more dominant team on this round, but in terms of time, they've only got a 20-second lead right now. You know, they have control of the point, they have the lead, they have an Uber ad, but rasgals are fighting tooth and nail for every single inch of this map at the moment, and Shrug are not having it easy so far. Look, again, rasgals just going in dry. 40% disad, the Uber's nearly onto Cows, but they just want to get that cap time, they want to get that pressure, and they want to fight it and make sure it's not easy for Shrug to do this, saying that they lose 4 players before the Uber's even popped. Big bomb in from the demo, getting in behind. Tokwaz is extremely weak, and it's going to be the sword kill from Sheep. Does take him down, and that is just as I was praising their play there, Snazzy, they get absolutely slaughtered.
They do get absolutely drilled. I should say, just because I see a little bit of discussion in the chat about it, it is not the same Sheep from many moons ago, but you know, an equally skilled player, I suppose. But yeah, that was just an absolute mincing that the rasgals received there. I mean, they definitely got turned into something I can buy for $10 at Coles. You know, oh, and there's a massive snipe out of Ojai, taking out Tokwaz right at the start of them trying to push in. 4 seconds left on the point for Shrug. All they have to do is hold it for a little bit longer. There's no heals on the sides of the rasgals, and they're just going to be able to collect this round. I believe that is all she wrote.
Yeah, and in the end, when you look at the time, over 1.5 minutes left, rasgals much better from Shrug there, and rasgals kind of struggling. A couple of deaths there from Tokwaz, getting, you know, pushed by the Uber and maybe caught out by just the pure aggression from Shrug. You know, the big demo bombs, the chasing from Sheep with that Uber. It's very hard to get out if you're not in a good position to start with them. To, you know, maybe that's something they're gonna have to think about in round 3 as they are taking this pool side, actually opposite sides. They want to go straight for pool here and get control of that house very early on, whereas Shrug are more happy to just play behind the point and wait for some picks. But again, it's going to be Ojai going down early. Soldier bombing in from behind, managing to get that kill, and with Ojai down, that's going to allow Flo to maybe take some pot shots.
Yeah, I mean, Flo's doing what he can. He's getting some shots off, but nothing especially egregious so far. However, we do see, look, rasgals have that height advantage. They do lose their demo, though, in the midst of all that. So we'll have to see if they're able to make that happen. Zach goes in for a stab, does actually go down for it. Bird going down as well, though. And I think rasgals probably going to have to back out a little bit. They're losing players at a rapid rate of knots. They do use in, and the Ubers get traded on the point there, and I guess some sort of attempt to stop the cap from going back the way of Shrug. But they've lost so many players that it's just looking bad for them in the post-Uber stage.
So close by railing or child renters. They're tagged up right now, bombing in after the Uber. This is the play I love to see from soldiers. When that Uber trade comes in, if your Uber is worse off, there's something you need to do about it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep recycling in that fashion. But jumps in deep, tries to land on Cows, gets that first rocket off. But Cows surfs away out of danger, and they don't manage to get the kill. And, you know, that's the kind of thing I want to see. Just taking those risks, sending a couple of players in. Otherwise, if you're just going to keep going for these exchanges, it's not going to work out for you. Shrug are in the lead in terms of time, but it's only about 20 seconds. And rasgals, they don't want to play this passive and methodically. They want to go in, they want to mix things up a little bit. What they say, get the cat amongst the pigeons, and just kind of like unsettle Shrug, because they're not letting them breathe and just settle into this hold.
For some reason, I found the cat amongst the pigeons really funny. I don't know what it was.
You like that
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Cows does actually go down in the end there.
Is that not a phrase you have in Australia?
No, I've heard it. It was just really funny to me. I don't know what it was. There's been so much fighting going on, but it does look like rasgals are coming out on the upper end of that one. They've managed to clean up the med with Bonk. He managed to get a sticky off to pick up Cows there, and they sort of just sacked 5 players in an attempt to force or kill Toklos, which I mean, I don't think that's even a bad play. I think that's a good one. But they're now able to recap the point, and you know, look, they're equalizing it again. There's still about a minute ad to the side of Shrug, but look, rasgals are in a much better position here. They have the Uber ad, they have all the stuff they need, and now they can hopefully start like leapfrogging these advantages. Uber ad, player ad, Uber ad, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like when Tokos is at 100%, he can just chill there, not really worrying too much. These sacks maybe are going to come in. It does look like Shrug want to take control of the pool room and maybe make their play from there. Big bomb in, and Cows actually goes down. I was looking at the wrong place. The Uber's used, the bombs go deep, and Cows goes down, and Shrug are back to square one, really. They've got players forward, but they have no heals. It's just going to be chipped away one by one. And yeah, rasgals still in control of the point with an Uber ad once again.
Yeah, it's textbook TF2 so far, CeeJaey. I mean, they get that Uber ad, they use it to get player ad and kill the med, then they use the Uber ad yet again. I think they'll be holding this point for quite some time now. I mean, they only have to hold for another 8 seconds, and then they're already in the lead. Hold on, hold tight. Count it down.
Yeah.
2,
3,
1.
1. Yeah, they're in the lead again, technically leading the overall map. If you think about it, it's tied 1-1 at the moment, but yeah, 30% ad for Tokos means that Cows has to be careful. The hold of Shrug need to be careful. If they get too close, they're getting very, very aggressive here. In comes the backstab center with the double. He gets 3. Yes, Cows, Liquid, and Dog Breath. That's 3 kills. The last one was a shank, but it's not going to matter. You don't need the extra point. It's going to be an absolute slaughter. Tokos using that Uber just to keep the team alive and spread out. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, we're talking about the leapfrog, but if you have Uber disad and you're pressuring a point that is not yours to control, you need to keep your medic alive. That's the one person that needs to be alive. If you're going to get that force, if you're going to get that drop, you've got to make sure your med stays alive. Otherwise, it's all for naught. And that's 2 pushes in a row now. They're trying again here, Shrug. And it is essentially a dry situation because there's no Ubers for either team. But they've got to keep Cows protected. Otherwise, it's just going to be a repeat of what's happening. It flows on 6 kill streak, Snazzy. 7 kill streak.
He's unreal, man. They pick up Doge as well. Turris getting in nice and deep. They're just leapfrogging that advantage. Look at it, man. Cows managing to stay alive. He was on single-digit health for a moment there, though. So that might actually be able to turn it around for Shrug here. Because they may... Yeah, they're definitely going to equalize the Uber ads here. And with an Uber trade on point, their post-Ubers have been much, much better than the rasgals.
Yeah, but they don't have much time to play with. It is going to tick to overtime here, or just onto 0. Turris is on a 7 kill streak. Like, there's a lot of players on the side of rasgals who are just not dying. There's a lot of people on the side of Shrug who are dying. There are a lot of players down right now. And if rasgals capture this point, they're going to win the round quite comfortably. Big bomb in. It's going to be Bird with the reflect onto Sheep. Don't you hate it when you die to reflect that you didn't shoot Sheep? I can't... Shoot sheep. I can't get the words out, Snazzy, but it's 2-1 to rasgals.
Yeah, rasgals are definitely they're showing up in the way I thought they should. I just want to say, at one point during that, Ink went in for a bomb and was suspended. Like I didn't count. I should have timed it, but it would have been a good 10 seconds. The mini sentry and the heavy just deleting him. First frag of this round going the way of Ohai, picking up Bonk nice and early. So that demo being down will reduce rasgal's ability to actually get up onto this point here, I think.
Yeah, with no demo pressure, it's going to be much easier for Shrug to walk forward without that spam coming over. Both snipers are alive though, and that's something you've got to be careful of, because as soon as you peek your head up onto that point, it's right for the popping by one of the snipers. We do see Bonk back in action though, and starting to get some pressure down, but Flow, Centaur, Tal all dead at the moment. Big bomb in, it's going to land on Cows. One rocket, two rockets, Cows, a little surf there into Ruins to keep themselves alive and get that health back, and they have Uber for a life for rasgals, and Tokos is getting pressured here, has to get away. Ink trying to fight on the battlements is gonna be losing out to Turris there, who's having an absolute cracker of a game so far, but it is gonna be the mid-fight won by Shrug.
Yeah, Shrug finally managing to take that, and I do think it was entirely on the back of Nerf, their heavy. His flank play there, picking up so many players, was absolutely unreal. We do see the Uber get used by Shrug here. They're trying to save some players. They come in nice and aggressive. The counter Uber comes out, it's so much better for Rascal. They get really deep here, they're on the med, they pick him up, they pick up Liquid, Cow, Zac, and Nerf in very quick succession. It's just Dog Breath behind, picking up two players as he jumps on through and just double pipes the med. That is busted, man. And then after they cap the point, Tokos gets even longer spawn. So Cows is probably going to be looking at about, 25 ad?
Maybe, yeah, 15 or so. It's going to be ad regardless. And you know what? There are moments where you look and you think that counter Uber by rasgals was so much better. Like, that's team coordination, the late bomb from Raylan just to land on the medic and get it, and you think that's amazing team play. Well done, rasgals. And then you see Dog Breath just go in for a solo bomb and just sticky pipe the medic, just a quick 1-2, and you think that's an individual play. Like, that's not synergy, that's not team play. That's just a great player doing a massive play and keeping his team in the game here. But it is essentially equal Ubers now, as Toko's been building slightly faster. Rasgals are in the lead in terms of time. Let's not forget, if they win this round, they will be winning this map. Flow with the kill onto Ohai as well is going to give him so much more freedom, and Shrek right now, they're under a lot of pressure.
They're under quite a lot of pressure. They've lost two of their pick classes and they've lost their med. Centaur getting that stab yet again. Ink, I believe, going for a bomb there and getting collected for his efforts. They do lose a couple players. They lose their soldier and demo on the side of the Rasgal, but they've held this point still. The demo man coming in for a nice big bomb, held up in the air for a nice long period, and dying up there at the same time. It's like watching an episode of Air Crash Investigation sometimes, man.
Yeah, just listening to a Texan man yee-hawing as Spurkle dropping a couple of taunts there. Maybe feeling the confidence right now. They're a minute in the lead and they have a full Uber ad, and Shrug are now the ones who have to go to the drawing board and really think, how are we going to get rid of this Uber and capture the point and make sure we don't end this round as the Uber comes in. Big jump in is going to be landed on Cows. It's actually going to be Centaur who gets 2 kills. Liquid and Cows both going down to the knife there, although it does look like overall Shrug are doing slightly better in cleaning up the kills. Tokos went down in an absolute calamity of trying to hold the point. Sparkle with the crits. He's going to taunt again. He does die, but it is going to be a huge Frontier crits justice to the face. Shrug winning the point here, Snazzy, and it's going to be equal Ubers again, but there are a few players down.
CeeJaey, there's few things I love more than the Frontier Justice. There are very, very few things I love more than the Frontier Justice. That was brilliant to see. The Ubers have kind of equalised here. Turris goes in a little bit too aggressive in the pool room there. Does get picked up by Ink. And they've actually picked up a few players here. So Shrug looking like they're holding that player ad here. I mean, it's 4-player ad. You can definitely play with that. And they're just grinding it forward. They've sent Ink nice and deep. They picked up Flow as well. Spurkle going down. They've lost quite a few players on the side of Rasgals, but they've kept their medical alive. And indeed, I think they're building a smidge better. It's not going to be enough to use. It's like 5 ad. But either way, it's going to be equal Ubers yet again. So if they can get a decent Uber off, it's maybe not as over-aggressive as their last one. I do think that they can recap this one with something. But as I say that, we do see Shrug actually take the advantage there. They get in there and they try to use, but it's almost an immediate counterpop. And it was a bit more solo on the side of the Rascal on their heavy there, but he does get abandoned a little bit. He goes down. Now they're just sort of grouped together in that main area there as they try to come on back through after losing a couple of players.
Yeah, that was really well played by Shrug. They knew that they had Bonk down, there was no demo pressure, so they were able to go forward, and then just Dog Breath was just spamming those sticky forces the Uber early. They get the kill onto Taris. No scout, no demo for that rascals Uber, and they went forward, and Shrug were just like, you know what? They were shrugging. They were just like, what are you going to do? You can't really chase us here. And so they just held the high ground. Oh, he's on a 7 kill streak right now as Tokos goes down, and this is absolutely huge for Shrug right now. They have only 25 seconds left on the clock. They have a huge Uber advantage. They're only missing really their demo to control this point, but they can probably pop an Uber. Rascals they need to go in right now, take this fight and get some advantages.
Yeah, Rascal's doing everything they can to try to get on there and stop this one from going the way of Shrug. Ohai picking up a player in the form of Taris, getting himself up to an 8 kill streak. The Uber comes out on the point from Shrug. They're able blasting as many players as they possibly can. Flo picking up 1 player though. Raylan picking up another with Ink going down. Ohai on a 9 kill streak picking up Bonk. And it's looking pretty grim for both teams here. Both teams down quite a few players. A lot of fighting on the point. This is kind of do or die for Rascal, but they have managed to hang on to the point here. The Cow's actually managing to get a frag on the center there. I only just noticed it in the feed. But,
yeah, throwing those arrows around. You know what, this actually works out much better for Rascals because despite all of that, Tokos didn't go down. So now they have an Uber advantage and control of the point with less than a minute to go. So it was looking really, really good for Shrug, but that key pick onto Tokos was just not there. And now they have to deal with the fact that there is an Uber advantage in play. A lot of pressure onto Tao. Tao does go down very, very early. The Uber's going to be used. Cows is under pressure, but they pick up another. That's 2 players down. It's 2 down for either side, but the respawns are going to be better for Shrug right now. They're starting to get pressure onto the point. Centaur and Bonk both going down. Those are 2 players who've been getting crucial picks during these exchanges, and with them not in play, Rascal's just trying to maybe defend the point, but they can't. They have to stand on the point. It's going to be all squared up here, 2-2 on this first map, and we're going to be going to one deciding round to decide Proside here.
Look, I just want to say, regardless of which way this goes, at the moment, with 2 rounds up for Rascal, this is 33% of the rounds that Shrug has lost in the entire season in this match alone.
That's a crazy start.
Yeah, I know, right? The first frag's coming through, quite a few on both teams. It's 3 down, 4 down now for Rascals. They have kept their medic alive, and they have picked up cows, though, so this is actually looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just pure aggression from Rascals on that mid fight. Maybe they just thought, you know what, we're not playing around anymore. Let's go for an aggressive push on mid. And Cow's going down. Uber advantage. They let go of the cap, but it does mean now that they can go forward with their players nice and buffed as Cow's only just spawning, starting to dish out those heals, and they have an Uber advantage. So, you know, Shrug have their players forward. They gotta know Topaz has that 100%, and they can just be Ubered on any time now.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to be fearful. They're getting very, very close. The Uber does come out, and we see Bonk take quite a lot of that Uber, unable to really convert it into frags. Sad, Taris does manage to pick up Ohai on the back end of that one. Bird and Taris going down for Ink and Ohai really in that Uber. Tal picking up Zach as well. Flo picking up a couple of frags himself, and it's looking a little bit, just a tiny smidge better for Rascal so far.
Yeah, they just made it a little bit messy, didn't they? You know, that Uber went forward, it didn't really get much value at all. They got control of the point, and you could see Shrug thinking, this is our chance to get control of the point without having to use our Uber. But that's the thing, you just have the Rascals players picking off 1 person, 2 people, big jump in from center. He does the little spin from the pillar, gets the backstab onto Cows. That is absolutely huge. That is a drop coming in from Cows, and that was an Uber advantage Shrug really, really needed to hold onto. Tokos goes down though. Sheep just saying, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm going to go forward and kill some people. Gets a 4 kill streak. Cows also gets a kill as well. Being bombed again, but will stay alive for the time being. And you know what? Despite that huge play, you got to think, if you're in Centaur shoes right now, you're thinking, I've just done a crazy play there. I've dropped the med. My team just need to solidify and hold here. And then they didn't.
Look, I hope they're better as a team than to blame each other like that. But yeah, Centaur going absolutely nuts, and it just sucks that they weren't quite able to capitalize off the... Zach managing to pick up Flo, though, which is going to give them some pause as they try to recap this point here. They are now in a little bit of a disadvantage time-wise. Ojai picking up Bonk and Turris going down as well means they really need to be cautious here. If they take a fight and it goes poorly for them, they're definitely going to lose a lot of players. They have picked up 3 though. Ojai, Zach and Sexy Turtle going down very, very quickly, equalizing things up a little bit.
Yeah, they was trying to stand on top of the point and just, have that high ground and pressure down, which is really what you want to do here. The Uber is going to be used inside the pool room. Tokos actually serves it away, really well played into main, and is going to live with 100% Uber, so now they can go forward with this advantage. There are a few players down, but once those respawns come up, they'll be able to push and put some pressure. They are about a minute behind here, just about. A big backstab from Centaur as well onto Dog Breath. That's going to open things up. No demo, so no real pressure onto rasgals right now. They're able to cap this without using the Uber, and that's the worst thing you want to have happen in a Koth map against you. You want to at least stop the point, or you want to get that force out. And now Shrug are in a position that we've seen them so many times where they are, in the lead in terms of time, but they don't have control of the point, and they don't have an Uber advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very, very good for rasgals. They do need to be cautious here, though. They definitely want to take this Uber forward. As I say that, they use on turret. They flash their demo through as well. They're going to try to pick up a couple players. Raylan coming in, trying to get some damage as well. They lose 3 players for 2, though. 4 players for 2 so far. It's actually looking quite grim for them. I think it was maybe a little bit over-aggressive with the Uber once again. And now they're probably going to be losing this point, I think. I don't want to use the term coin flip, but that literally could go one of either ways, Snazzy, right? Either what happens, they don't get the force, they don't get the med kill, and this happens, and now they're facing not using the point, not having the point, and having an Uber disadvantage. If they get cows there, if they get cows there and they retain an Uber advantage and they refight this, they probably go on to win the round and the map. As it is, cows went down to 8 HP. He was 8 HP and didn't die, and now has 100% Uber in pool room, and his team has 40 seconds left before they could win this map. A lot of kills going rasgals' way, though, as the Uber comes out from Shrug. They're going to be chasing into main. Tokos running for his life. Sheep smells blood in the water, but cannot achieve that elusive medic kill. They have to back off towards the point. They've got 4 players alive now. Centaur managing to pick up cows on the point there, though. That's going to give them so much advantage. It's full out. They only have a few players up, which they desperately need to keep alive, though. And I think they're going to probably have to use on the point here if they want to cap it, unless they slow it down. Turris managing to pick up Sheep in a one-on-one duel. Tal, finally, the rest of the spawns coming forward onto the point here, supporting Bomb, and the drop! Zach managing to get the stab onto Tokwo. Absolutely devastating there. That's unreal.
Yeah, that's almost a nail in the coffin, right? I mean, we're talking about some big plays from Centaur, but Zach may well have won their team the round with that stab, dropping Tokos. That allows Shrug to walk in here, just get the cap pretty much for free. rasgals know with only a few seconds left on the clock, they have to fight this. They have to get on it and block it. They're running forward. Tokos and Turris are going to be there. They're going to need to DM 5 people, but they're not going to be able to do it. It will be 3-2 to Shrug. Kind of the reverse sweep there, 2-1 down. Frontier Justice, we saw earlier on, did come out very, very strongly. It does look like we are going live now. If you're just joining us, this is map 2 of the ozfortress Season 1 Premiere Highlander Grand Final. It is between Shrug and rasgals. Shrug picking Proside as their map, and it was a very, very close affair. 3-2 for them. We're going on to rasgals' pick now, and it is going to be Swiftwater. They're starting in the red here, rasgals, so it's going to be Shrug attacking first, trying to set a time, and rasgals trying to beat that time, and it's going to be best of 3, so it is going to be whoever can win 2 rounds. We could be here for a while. What are you expecting here, Snazzy? Are you still rasgals? You're just fangirling there, you're cheerleading for them, you think this is going to be their coming back and we're going to be going to product after this?
Oh yeah, they're going to keep me here as long as they possibly can. They're going to ruin my entire evening.
I mean, what do you mean ruin your evening? This is the highlight of the evening, man. It's Highlander, right? This is the diamond in the season, and we're very happy to be here, and we love having all of the all of the Highlander shenanigans. We're just seeing it's Swiftwater. It's the first point of Swiftwater. Nothing's gonna happen. Spoiler alert. Defending team is just gonna sit in that tunnel, just spam a little bit and wait for the team to push the car up. And yeah, it's like A on Steel, right? You just kind of chill for a bit.
Yeah, they have opted to move that gun back nice and early, which definitely something my team personally has struggled with. So they're set up for that second point nice and early. While we do have a quiet moment, it's a great time if you're watching live to get some gambling in and predict with your channel points who you think's going to win. Try to double your money.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be winning this map? Is it going to be Shrug or is it going to be rasgals? That's that first point. Does go down to Shrug fairly simply. I mean, yeah, nothing really to write home about there, as the first point is just kind of let up. It's only really if something major happens or someone big dies, as there is going to be an Uber exchange happening on the high ground, and Shrug doing an amazing job of it. They take down Tal, they manage to force them off the high ground. Liquid is going to go down, but Cows is also going to go down to Bird. It is going to be an absolute collapse there as rasgals just pressure forward, get some kills. A lot of players from Shrug going down. Nerf is also going to go down there, so it's 5 down. And really, nothing really bad happening for rasgals. They can just regroup and reposition themselves back on the high ground after that.
It is absolutely bizarre that push did not work. I thought for sure that was like a done deal on the second point there. The NG got out with his sentry, he's got it back up. Like, that's crazy,
yeah,
man.
The rescue ranger came out and the sentry was gone, and I was like, okay, that keeps your sentry safe, but surely something, everyone else is going to die, but they don't. But actually, the snipe from Ohai takes down Spurkle. Zach is now pressuring Flo, takes down Flo and saps the sentry. So by their powers combined, the assassin class has got rid of Flo, Spurkle, and the sentry. There's a lot of stuff happening down in the tunnel. Oh no, Bulk gets dropped there from the Uber. Sheep just hitting the meat shot. Is going to be trying to come in from the flank here. Cows is going to die, and Centaur is going to be the one to pick up that, and Nerf. 2 kills for him. But a lot going on here. Tokos also goes down later on. I mean, it's kind of mad because this is not what you normally see on Swiftwater. But you know what? If it works, it works.
This is one of the more unusual Swiftwater 2s I think I've ever seen. There's still fighting going on here. Like, it still hasn't really been put. I mean, yeah, the Ubers have kind of equalized and there's no gun, so I think it's probably favoring Shrug here, but
Oh, Zach comes in and gets Flo, and Liquid just jumped through the window and destroys the sentry. Honestly, these are some plays that I was not expecting, but they're working. And you know what? Dave's analysis in the mid was like, you know what? They're not going to be really too strategic with this. They're just going to wait for their DM to run through, and Liquid just jumps through the window, takes down the sentry. The sentry's the big problem, right? On that point, sentry on the high ground. If you can take out the NG and the sentry that easily, shows why Shrug are starting to roll this cart forward. And yeah, you know what? Rasgals right now are just being pressured a lot, but they do get cows. Centaur with the backstab again.
I mean, the backstab's really, really important, but they're probably going to lose the third point here. And to be honest, I think if I was rasgals, I would just be cutting my losses and bailing. Nerf is nice and deep onto them. They have managed to get out through that spawn, it looks like. They're probably going to set up, I think, for last, maybe for the yard area. But there's quite a bit of pressure in that area already, so it does look like they're just committing, okay, you know what? We need to commit to last. And it's only been, 4 minutes.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
This is so fast. It's so fast. CeeJaey jumped in there, almost got Tokos, just missed the pipes at the end. This is the big thing. I think maybe rasgals should have just given up on that third point, backed up, and made sure they got a better hold on fourth here, because the pressure coming in from Shrug, it's just been so great that they haven't been able to get a sentry up in a good position. They haven't been able to get their players up. They're just losing players over and over again. Centaur desperately trying to get a stab onto someone, but slips away with his life. Does get cows, but it's almost like, you know what, you're getting med picks, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and you've lost, 8 of your players for the med pick. It's just your med alive on life. He actually goes down. Ink managing to collect him there. A single shot from the sentry gun of Spurkle picking up Doge though. And Zach going down, so that might slow things down just a little bit, but this is dire circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic payload, right? Where you've got to understand when a point is going that badly, it's better to just give it up for free and make sure you've got a better hold on last, And rasgals haven't done that. They maybe should have just said, second is going completely out the window. Let's just go all the way back to fourth and make sure we can sort of equalize things out. As it is, they're on last now. 4:36 for all of the points so far is a very, very fast time. And it's going to be difficult. They're going to have to churn out on... a decent amount of minutes here on this last point for it to be worthwhile. But it is equally, actually no, it's not equally Ubers. It was equally Ubers, Snazzy, but they're like 20% behind right now.
Yeah, I think with all the pressure that's onto them right now, Tokos is a little bit afraid, and he's staying, you know, as safe as he can possibly be, even if that means he's not healing his players, as the Uber comes straight on through. The soldier gets totally suspended. So that doesn't go super well for them on the side of Shrug, and it does look like it's going to be slowed down a little bit longer. But they're losing players on the side of rasgals. They're actually going to have to throw themselves onto this point. Sheep's really deep on the cart there. They can't afford to let that cart go unattended anymore. They have picked up quite a few players. Sheep, Zach, and Liquid are all going down in very quick succession. The Uber does get used out of rasgals. I didn't actually see what forced that. Maybe a pipe from the demo man. He's been peeking through on that top area quite a lot. It's like truly quite dire for the fellas here, man.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that cart and it's tantalizingly close, right? It's so close that if you push it a little bit, then sometimes the momentum will actually just make it drop in. And you can see at the moment, Bonk is just like carpeting stickies all over the place. And in comes Liquid. He's just going to stand on the car. He's going to go in. He's going to roll in. 6:38. And you know what? That last point is where a third of the time went. Like, and that's mad.
That is fast, man. What
If
would
you're
you say
rasgals,
the average time is on this map? I think I'd normally see like 9 to 12-ish.
I mean, I always say in payload, if you're hitting double figures, then you're probably thinking, oh, that wasn't a very fast time for me pushing. But Swiftwater is one of the longer ones. So you may be looking around like the 8-9 minute mark and thinking, okay, like this is a time. It depends on how kind of gritty it gets on the second and third points. But there was never really any moment where Shrug had to push more than sort of twice, right? Like the second point they Uber traded and it didn't go too well for them. Then they just decided, you know, we're just going to go in dry, and they just kept trading players until it worked. And then they just kept rolling. Third, fourth, it just collapsed. And it wasn't until we got to last that they had to push twice again in order to get the gap. And if you're rasgals, you're thinking, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of like a relentless tide of players just throwing themselves at them. And they never really got the time to set up again. I do think they probably should have cut their losses and just gotten back, but we'll have to see what they can do on the attack here. They're out fairly, you know, standard sort of aggression here. It's a little bit of a safer hold from Shrug here on the defense. Liquid just standing in that what would you call it, the cave there, trying to keep things away from the sentry. And they've got that sentry in a much safer spot than we saw on the side of the rasgals. So we'll have to see how this impacts on the first point.
I think you can already see the impact a little bit here, because we can see Bonk and Tal and everyone just being able to be so much more aggressive on this first point and already position themselves in a way that they were able to get some spam down. Okay, they didn't get any kills or any major kills or anything like that, but they were able to just pressure and get themselves in a better position. Normally that sentry being in the tunnel denies anyone jumping over and bombing or getting, you know, any sort of pressure. So it doesn't really make too much of a difference in the long run, but you think if Bonk maybe got into a different position, could have actually pressured and maybe got some good damage on them.
Yeah, Zach playing real safe, by the way. He's just sort of like hiding up the back there, calling when they're going up, and they're afraid of him. rasgals are playing it very, very safe.
It's a security camera. They found him.
Yeah, he's been hit by like three random shots across the map as the Uber comes through. They haven't really achieved quite a lot with it. They pick up those, though. Birds on the gun doing so much damage. Manages to take it out at the cost of her life as the rest of the team manages to get onto the cart. They have lost a few players. Everyone else is very, very low. But picking up that gun there, I mean, that's incredible. Because if they can keep the pressure on here, the second point's kind of theirs, right?
In theory, yes, but they traded 6 players, including their medic, and all they really picked up was the sentry and Doge. And you think that's like getting the demo down that quickly. I thought that's going to be spelling disaster for Shrug, but in the end it didn't. And you take a look at Sexy Turtle, already got a level 2 up. It does go down very, very quickly there to Bonk, and it does look like rasgals want to keep this pressure going through the main tunnel. They're on the low ground. Sheep is there just going to be saying there's so many weak players. 4 of them, up to 5 of them as he takes down below that. It's, yeah, that's pretty rough. I mean, when you're going in, you need to be healthy through that main area. Otherwise, they're just going to be raining damage down on you from that high ground. They had no pressure on the high ground. So all Shrug needed to do was focus their attention downwards, and Sheep was able to just benefits there, just completely cleaning up.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty grim. There's only 4 minutes left on the clock, too, for rasgals here. They're committing to a more sort of standard way of playing this through the tunnel there. They have managed to pick up a couple of players, but they've lost a couple of their own. They do pick up the sentry once again, the Heavy managing to take that one out. Tal getting quite a bit of damage in, but does go down for it. So they've lost, like, more players yet again. You know, that was, what, 5 players in for a sentry there?
Yeah, it's like, you got to kind of gauge how important is the sentry to this, and how many players do we really want to barter for it. The big threat is at the moment, Ink and Sheep are just controlling this side tunnel, and anyone who's pressured there has just gone down to Sheep. He's picking up kills left and center, and every time they go through main, he's also there to put damage. And again, he just gets bonked, and the demo's dropped from the U. This Uber is going to be very, very difficult. Tokos does go down to Doge, and it's an absolute disaster for rasgals here, as, again, going in through that lower ground, you need some pressure on the high ground, right? Otherwise, you have a team on the high ground with their attention only on you. Sheep at the moment is just waiting for that damage to come in and running around and picking up kills all over the place. And I really do think that it does look like they're going to go for the high ground this time, as they think going through the low ground is just not working.
Not been kind to them so far. They are looking pretty ready to go dry on the upper ground, but they lose Bird, Towel, and Flo, and Turris, and Raylan, and their demo man Bonk going down in very, very quick. What was that? Like 2 seconds tops. To quote a very good friend of mine, it's a murder scene. All right, it's absolute carnage. And Tokos, oh my god, nearly going down if it wasn't for Flo getting a headshot of a career onto Sheep there to prevent his med's death. So look, 2 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be very, very difficult for rasgals here if they don't cap this point more or less right now.
Yeah, they need to get the cap now, they need to ×3 on it, and they need to be rolling it all the way to last. I'm not sure if it's even physically impossible. I'm sure there's someone there with, you know, like a spreadsheet who knows the actual times that, you know, it's possible to go from one point to the next on payload. I don't know what it is on here. 140, I'm going to say Shrug. They're going to have to just completely kill bind over and over and over again with the ×3 on the cart from rasgals for this to hurt, but I don't think they'd even get there in time. And I was not expecting this. I'm going to be honest with you. We see the Uber coming through the low ground. The cap is going to go down here. It's more going to be for momentum heading into the second than anything. But again, they just lose so many players here, Snazzy. I wasn't expecting this. I thought, you know, I was expecting rasgals to be a little bit more clinical with their pushes, and I was expecting it to be a bit more.
A little bit. But yeah, no, I wasn't expecting this either. I mean, you've heard me the entire way through this. I do think rasgals are in with a red hot shot. But look, they're just going to have to make up for it on the BA section of the AB. So they'll be playing this once again, swapping sides to begin it. So we're just going to have to see what they can do, because this first way through, I mean, 40 seconds left on the clock. They are pushing into 3 here. I mean, it's a long way to go, but if they keep 3 times on, maybe? Again, we need some spreadsheet nerd to come through and tell us exactly how long it's going to be. But look, I think they've just had their hopes and dreams dashed against the rocks there. Quite a few players coming through on the back end. Ink actually managing to get off, I believe, the Conqueror. Yeah, it was the Conqueror. And with that healing, they've just cleaned up so many players in the back end as they tried to push the cart there. So that's going to be all she wrote, I believe, for this first round. Clearly with Shrug in the lead there. That was like a pretty thorough professional deconstruction on the attacking first time. So I don't know. I do think I mean, look, if they get their act together, pull their heads in, you know, tie up the shoelaces, all that stuff, I do think they still got it. Maybe I'm believing too hard. I don't know.
There's definitely still a chance.
I think I'm
Hopefully
back.
CeeJaey's back.
think he's still a little bit roboty. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure whether I might have to do a hard restart here.
I think you might have to do a hard restart then.
I will wait for you to give me a catch up when I get back.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we're seeing a pretty standard sort of setup here. So, oh, here we go. Okay, Rascals. This is their time to shine. If they don't win this map, it's kind of all over. I mean, that's the end of it, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. They need to win this. They need to, just fix the things we saw. They obviously, we talked about them having that time pressure against them that previous round. This time they don't have it. They can just, go about it at their own pace. They can set their time and, just work on those couple of things that we saw in the previous round that didn't work out for them at all.
yeah, there's a bit less pressure on this time. They do lose 2 on this this first point, just sort of botting towards the centre, just doing what they can to get them off that first point. It's again a very safe hold from Shrug here, just playing in that in the cave there, and now they're pushing on through. Zach on his security camera footage yet again. He does actually go down. Raylan managing to pick him up on top of the house there on one. So that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage here, because it's a bit harder to tell exactly when they're going to be pushing through that upper area with their Uber here. So we'll just have to... Come on, baby. Come on. You can do it.
Yeah, that's the pick. They're not sure whether they're going to be going tunnel or top at the moment. Their heels are going top. They're just taking it straight in. It's going to be Scout, Pyro, Uber, straight in through the shutter, just getting the Ubers out of the way, backing out, kept themselves alive. They did lose their pick classes in the meantime there on the Rascals side, but I didn't really manage to dislodge the defence in any single way. But it looks like we're going to see a bit of a rotation. Heels going into tunnel and see if they can make something work from that.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking it through that tunnel, I think probably just to consolidate their team while they're building the Uber up. I mean, surely you want to keep on pushing through that upper area. So, I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a what's the term the kids use? Dog water Uber. Through that upper area. It didn't really achieve very much. It was sort of like they just got air blast straight back out, really.
But I think Shrug showed the way to go when they were on the offense that, they're just going to take it straight in. They're popped super, super early. It's onto the demo and the scout. They're not even going to, just about kill the gun. But at the moment, Cows is holding onto the Uber. They've lost 4 in this Uber chain. 5 now going down. Complete high ground control. Bird is in for a last desperate attempt. Kills a dispenser, but nothing else. And that is, that's not very good.
I mean, it was 7 players for a gun, and they lost the Uber, and the spy's on the med. Toko's doing everything he can to stay alive. Zach on 11 health. He just manages to pick him up. So they lost 8 players, including their medic, for a single sentry gun on 2. And as much as it's good to get the gun. I'm not sure if 8 players makes it worth it. So CeeJaey, you might be back now. How
Might be back. How am I sounding?
Mildly better, I would say.
We can give it a go, but I mean, Dave is welcome to jump in at any time if things are not going my way. It's very much looking like the previous round there right now. Like Rascal's not really being able to push this second point.
Yeah, it's still a bit robot-y, just so you know. But yeah, they're definitely struggling to push it in here.
Good thing for Rascals was they did commit, they did get the force out, but Toko's still a long way back in the Uber. I don't think they're building particularly efficiently at the moment, just tanking the sniper. They're trying to make some pressure in from tunnel, but actually Liquid gets a reflect kill on the Pyro Bird. That is an ego booster there for Liquid, but Toko's just about building a very slight ad, but it's going to be difficult to make anything of it, I think.
Yeah, it's not really much ad to really use for them. So, I don't know. Zach going in for a little bit of stab does get taken down. But like we said, I mean, they're setting the time this time. So as long as they cap this point sometime in the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds, they're happy. They're not, I mean, happy's maybe a strong term as they use the Uber through in an attempt to collect that sentry gun. They do finally get it, but they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 players now for it. which makes it a bit difficult to continue pushing into there. Ojai hitting 9 headshots now, I believe. And they've lost, again, just so many players in an attempt to catch that gun.
Yeah, much more aggressive counter Uber this time from Shrug. Seeing that Tokos had committed in fully through the cave, and Doge just walked forward, was happy to drop down, happy to sticky off that medic, knowing that there was no way Tokos could leave at least through that main area, and he could get a little bit more damage down. Tokos has shaken out of it with a little bit of an advantage, but with Bonk going down, there's still going to be another 30 seconds or so where they're not going to be able to make too much pressure. They're trying to walk in, but they're just getting completely crushed by Doge. Ojai's up to a 12k as well. It's really going disastrously at the moment for Rascals. They're going to have to completely reset and find something very, very different here.
Yeah, I mean, one wonders if maybe they need to get more coordinated with the push, like, you know, send a sap at the exact same time as they push, sort of thing. Which, I mean, I know it sounds simple, but it is, like, it's kind of hard to keep the gun up if that stuff's going on. And I mean, when they got minced on second earlier, the issue was that their NG went down, and then, you know, pretty much immediately everything just went to garbage for them because the gun went down. So, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, the moment they're pressuring Dry through the shutter area, Bonk commits in. He does get nerfed down, but that's all she wrote for that attempt. Bonk cleaned up, and again they're rotating. They're taking so much time to rotate every time, and you know, every time they've tried to make anything happen from Cave, it's been completely shut down so far from Shrug.
Yeah, I mean, Shrug are showing some serious dominance on this, and I mean, I don't want to talk down on the fellas here, but it was Rascals map pick as they pushed the Uber through that upper area one more time. They brought it on through. They've lost a couple of players in the back end in the meantime, and the Uber has not gone super well. We're seeing a medic melee battle. Tokos going down to cows using that the bust of what is it, Hippocrates?
Hippocrates yet do no harm, but certainly some harm was done on either medic there. Both of them trying to scrap it out, but not pretty indicative, I think, of not the situation that Tokos wanted to be in when you're having to pull out a melee fight. As it is, really kind of aggressive play, and they want to get aggressive in cave here. Shrug, they're feeling confident, they're feeling unbreakable at the moment, and they're looking at the Pyro is running in, getting some damage, killing Bonk, the demo man. Gonna go down for it, but overall absolutely no progress being made by Rascals right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rascals are really struggling to push this. Guitarist getting some time on the cap there, ending up going down. It sort of seems like everyone's just sort of doing their own thing at this point. A minute left on the clock to be able to push this second point, and then they have to hold it here for, you know, what is it? The full timer, don't they? Look, it's grim. It's very, very grim here. Even Ubers, though, they're looking like they're ready to push on through. Ojai now on 15 kill streak, taking out Flow in that cave area. Zach knows that the team is down in that cave area. The Uber is ready to go, but I think it's just going to get met again. They use Uber really early. They don't want to lose players to Ojai there. They pushed on through. There's still sticky traps. They've lost Centaur. They've lost Tau. The Uber has faded. There's players still stuck in. Bonk goes down. It's very, very grim. Bird manages to pick up Ojai, but that's just about it. They've lost quite a few players trying to push into this gun yet again. The Sapper did go on. The gun has gone down. Now is their chance. They only have to push this. It's basically even players as we speak. The Uber does come out from Shrug. They're pushing into that cave. Very, very aggressive. They've got a Conqueror as well. Oh my god, they have minced so many players. Just turn them into mincemeat. And I think that's going to be just about it for this push out of rasgals.
Wow, devastating stuff. I kind of want to see the halftime logs just to see how one-sided it was. So many times Rascals nearly wiping on that offense. I mean, they were committed, but they were always committing in bad situations, pushing in from low ground, you know, without picks. I think the big thing was Centaur really wasn't, you know, it had a great lakeside map. So far, this map really hasn't been able to do anything, particularly on that second point. Never able to kill Ojai. You know, Ojai went on a massive kill streak that round, and wasn't really able to get much pressure on the gun, either Sap or or the Enforcer, you know, either of those could have made something change a little bit, but wasn't able to make it happen. As you say, slight positive for Rascals, I guess, is that if they do hard hold second, they maybe have a chance, but it looks like they're actually going for the aggressive first hold right now.
The problem is, so I forgot quite how this works. They have 49 seconds that they have to hold first for. Now, 49 seconds with the pub hold here, that's probably doable, but it's going to be very, very quick. The moment one Uber comes out that minces them, it's going to be really, really, really bad. They crits really early, probably in an attempt to collect the med. They haven't actually collected anything just yet. They lose Raylan going in for a very, very deep bomb, and the crits has failed. Cal managing to pick up Sheep, though. Shotgun heavy, bit of Fat Scout action. Doge comes in for a nice big bomb. There's a bunch of frags going on, and the next 20 seconds is all it's going to be. This is make or break.
I mean, they're going to get that 20 seconds off the clock. They're not any cap time at the moment from the Shrug side, but Rascals, you know, they're now having to transition this point. They're all stuck in first. The Pyro's in, the Spy's in.
Oh, no!
There's so much pressure. They collect a couple of frags here on the Shrug side, but Rascals managed to get Tokos out just about, it looks like, but lost a bunch of players for it.
They do pick up cows here, so with the heal ad, this is their best chance. They have to stop this guy while it's still in overtime. They pick up Ink as well. They've crits onto the scout. Ohai going down. Zach managing to pick up Tokos. This is it. This is the end, I think.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no. Okay. So they have to push it to 2 now. Yes. If they can push it to 2, that's the win. It's been so long since I've played this format, man.
No worries, I consistently get dragged back into it, so never mind. At the moment, some cave pressure coming in from the Shrug side. Rascals desperately just trying to keep everyone alive. Sentinel actually gets a nice little pick onto Ink. Flow picking up Zach as well. So at the moment, the defense is just boisterous. They're playing aggressively. They're playing really aggro in towards this cave. Bonk just spamming everything down, leaving some space up on top, and looks like the rotation's going to come in for Shrug here. They're going to be walking into that shot very imminently.
Yeah, the Uber doesn't get used, actually. Cow's still yet to actually get it. They've only just gotten it now, and they've already collected that sentry. Uber finally gets used. Toko's looking a bit grim with only 67% and a heavy chasing him. It's very tragic. He actually taunts on the tail end of that one. It's still actually looking fairly good for Rascals here, though. They picked up quite a few players, including pretty much everyone that actually pushed in there. So all of that for losing their gun and their men. It's not super tragic, but they still have to hold this for another 6 minutes on this second point.
Yeah, Post was pretty nice there for the Rascals side. Al just keeping himself alive, re-pushing that kind of spiral staircase area. There's still some cap time going down. They're still committed to this low ground hold, but so much pressure in from Shrug. Pixie Turtle walking in, getting up Tokos, Bird, Tourist, Bonk all going down. And there's still a gun up, but that's the main thing. Even a bust kill coming out from Cows, it's just all going in Shrug's favour. They just have to get a couple of players on this cart. One last desperate attempt by Spurkle, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to see Shrug take the title, take the season out.